Those people that eat hummus with celery sticks and carrot sticks are absolutely evil. They should be put in prison for the rest of their lives. Today we're going to be reviewing Nisha's hummus. She has a channel called Rainbow Plant Life. She does vegan recipes. Hummus is obviously vegan. I was born in the Middle East, lived there many years. I've had a disgusting amount of delicious hummus, not just hummus, delicious hummus. I'll be giving my grade at the very end, so let's hop in.
Today I'm going to show you how to make incredible hummus at home. You can make it in as little as 5 minutes, and it is 10 times better than the store-bought stuff. But you don't have to take my word for it, because later we're gonna go visit my crack team of taste testers. They're used to only eating store-bought hummus, so we'll see how my version compares.
We call it hummus in Indian.
Hummus is not.
Ooh, they call it hummus in India. That is the proper way to say it. See, everybody says it properly other than Americans.
First up, we have our chickpeas. And if you want to do the 5-minute version of hummus, you're going to want to use canned chickpeas. I promise it's still going to be a lot better than store-bought. And you can save that chickpea water, the aquafaba, to make my epic vegan brownies or banana bread. But for the absolute best hummus, you're going to want to use dried chickpeas. These chickpeas have been soaked in...
Yes, I guess it's going to be the best, but look, the best milk is going to be straight from the cow's teat. Are you gonna go and milk a cow every time you want to drink milk? No, of course not. You're gonna take the slightly below great and amazing and get the store-bought one. This takes so much more work, but the people that love to do this and have this process and make it authentic, do your thing.
In cold water for about 8 hours. I also added a little bit of baking soda to the soaking water. The baking soda helps to soften the chickpeas and also helps to loosen those chickpea skins a little bit, and that is what's going to give you that ultra smooth and creamy hummus texture.
You can get the ultra cream and smooth texture with the chickpeas that are from the can. It's not a huge deal, trust.
After the chickpeas have been soaked, we'll cover them with some water in a saucepan and add a little more baking soda to help soften them up even more. Bring the water.
More white powder, man.
It'll start to get quite foamy, so just use a spoon to skim off that foam. After cooking for 30 minutes, we'll add a teaspoon of kosher salt to flavor the chickpeas from within and cook for another 10 to 15 minutes until they're very soft. To test if they're done, smash a couple chickpeas against the pot or test one on a plate with your fingers like this. There should be no resistance and they should get...
I mean, that looked pretty soft, but honestly, man, if you are going to take the time and do this and you have all the freaking time in the world to freaking do it this way, you might as well get it to where it's like way mushier than that. Like you might as well get it to where it's like literally like not even there, non-existent.
I want them to be a lot softer than if you were just going to eat them, and once they're really soft you can go ahead and drain them. I've got my cooked chickpeas here. Some recipes will tell you that you have to peel every single chickpea to take off the skins. That is too laborious for me, but you will notice when...
Oh, now you're talking about what's laborious and what's not. This is already too laborious if you ask me personally, but you know, I'm lazy though. That's really why people buy it from the store more often than making it themselves, because people feel like they have to do all of this work.
Off like I did. A lot of the skins are going to come off naturally. Take a minute to just kind of pick out the loose skins that you see. That's going to improve the texture of the hummus. We're going to start by adding these chickpeas to a food processor. We're going to blend the chickpeas for...
Okay, let me get this straight. She's doing garbanzos first.
For 1 to 2 minutes until you...
And she's blending it first. Every single person, if you've been watching this channel, has their own process. Like, it's actually comical at this point. So she's gonna blend the garbanzo beans first, and then she's gonna add everything else. Okay, just freaking put everything in.
So you have a really nice, smooth, and thick paste. And you'll want to scrape it down from time to time, maybe once or twice, because some chickpeas will get stuck on the side. And give the chickpeas a final blend until they look something like this. All right, next up we have our tahini. I've listed a few of my favorite tahini brands in the description box because some brands can be a little bitter, and we're going to use quite a bit of it, so that is why you do want to use a good quality tahini. It's going to help...
I like that. She's putting in a lot of tahini. Okay, she steals my heart with this already, but you know, she can mess things up. Let's not get it twisted. Okay, so let's look at the brand that she recommends. Okay, so she recommends a tahini brand that you don't know what the freaking name of the brand says. Kanatur. That's how you know it's probably pretty good, when you don't know what the label even says. I see some Arabic to the side. We like that. She's doing a lot of good things. Good job.
It's going to help bring everything together, because in a traditional hummus you don't actually use any olive oil, so the tahini does a lot of work here.
In a traditional hummus, hummus, you don't use olive oil. Did you hear that? She's absolutely correct. People's obsession with olive oil has drawn in and encroached on authentic hummus. I don't know where this comes from, but it drives me crazy. People abuse and freaking drown their hummus in olive oil. It's freaking disgusting. And I love olive oil, but I love hummus, I would say, better than olive oil.
We're gonna add some freshly squeezed lemon juice. I like my hummus very lemony. If you do too, go crazy with the lemon. If you don't like it as lemony, you can just use less lemon. We're also gonna add 3 cloves of chopped garlic. I like my hummus very garlicky. Surprise, surprise.
3 cloves of chopped garlic, that's kind of a lot.
Nisha loves garlic. It's true, I do. With this recipe, and most recipes in general, you don't want to blindly follow the instructions, because part of mastering cooking at home is learning how to alter a recipe to meet your taste. So if you see this recipe and think 3 garlic cloves is way too much, Nisha, that's fine. You can alter it to your taste. Just be sure to taste along the way so that you end up with the recipe that you like the most. We're also gonna add some—
She's right. That's a good tip. You know what's actually funny? She says she likes a lot of garlic. 3 cloves is not as much as people that put garlic in that just think it's part of the recipe, actually. So she's putting a lot of garlic in there, but I've seen other people put a lot more. So not too bad. I won't dock her too much, but you don't even really need garlic. Like you shouldn't really taste the garlic, honestly.
I'm gonna add some ground cumin for a warm—
So the recipe, if you're an American, the recipe that you like the most is probably not correct. You're trying to look for hummus in your recipe, but you don't even know what good hummus tastes like. No offense. You're gonna have to have a new relationship with hummus that is not garlicky, because garlic overpowers, it does.
and season with some kosher salt and black pepper. Once everything looks like—
She said cumin, salt, pepper. Pepper is not really needed. I don't really understand the pepper. Salt, absolutely. Cumin is optional.
it's blended together, go ahead and drizzle in the ice water, a tablespoon at a time. I use ice water instead of regular water because it makes the hummus creamier and almost fluffy.
I would put an ice cube in there. Not too much. When I was making my hummus, I put a little bit too much in there. Hopefully she blended that a good amount. I don't know if she's gonna give you the amount of time that she's blending it for, but she needs to blend a good amount, and she's blending it all at one time. Like, I don't know why she blended the freaking the garbanzo beans separately from everything else. Doesn't make sense.
Let's just give it a taste.
Tasting as you go. Good job, my girl Nisha.
Needs a little more lemon. Those lemons I used weren't that juicy, so I'm just gonna eyeball it here, juice it over my hands to get any seeds. I think that's good, and then we'll just give it another blend.
You shouldn't have too much lemon, but lemon is a very unique thing to put in something that's like a food. So having it come out a little bit more than maybe you're comfortable with is actually something that is very refreshing.
Okay, this is what the hummus looks like after a few minutes of blending. It's incredibly creamy and—
She said a few minutes. I kind of want it to be a little bit creamier than that. I don't know. I want it to be a little bit smoother, but it looks pretty creamy, pretty smooth.
smooth, almost pillowy-like, thanks to cooking the dried chickpeas with baking soda until they're really soft, as well as that ice water. This hummus is great as is, so we're gonna go head over to our taste testers, and I'll show you how to take this hummus over the top. Before I show you how I love to serve it, 2 things to keep in mind. 1, you wanna serve your hummus warm or at room temperature. The cold hummus you find in the refrigerated section, that is an American thing, and you are gonna lose a lot of flavor and texture when it's cold. And 2, for the best—
She's absolutely correct. I mean, this is kind of obvious. Most things taste better when they're fresh, but storing it is fine. Eating it, you know, it lasts about a week, I believe, depending on how you store it. But again, there are hummus houses in the Middle East. In Israel, where I used to live, there were places where the main dish was hummus. That's how delicious they make it, where you can have an actual restaurant. Its entire goal is to serve you delicious hummus, and people pay money to come there over and over to experience that hummus. That opened here, people would be confused because they're used to garbage hummus.
I really recommend getting some warm pita bread to go along with your hummus. It's a lot better than carrot sticks and certainly better than celery sticks. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven for a little bit.
Those people that eat hummus with celery sticks and carrot sticks are absolutely evil. They should be put in prison for the rest of their lives. That is absolutely disrespectful to hummus. I know you're trying to be healthy. If you want to be healthy, eat it with a little bit of onion, eat it with pickles. That makes more sense and goes along with the flavor profile. But celery and carrot sticks are literally, you're putting air inside of the hummus. Don't disrespect the hummus like that. You look crazy, you look white, and there's nothing wrong with being white, but it's just, for some reason, just pattern recognition, white people seem to to do that. Suburban white people in America. Carrot sticks and celery sticks with everything, yuck.
Finish the hummus, we're going to lightly fry some garlic and lemon zest in olive oil. For the garlic, we'll thinly slice each clove. And
more garlic, oh my gosh, dude, freaking garlic death, bruh. Ugh, too much garlic.
For the lemon, we're going to use a vegetable peeler to get some strips of lemon zest, about 2 inches.
Okay, fancy with the zest.
We're gonna heat up some extra virgin olive oil in a skillet, and once it's warm, we're going to add the garlic, cook that for a couple minutes just until it starts to get golden, and then we'll add the lemon zest just for maybe 30 seconds until it's really zesty and aromatic, and then we'll take it off the heat and transfer the—
Okay, that sounds pretty good actually. I mean, I do like garlic. I'm not anti-garlic. I just don't want it to drown my freaking hummus.
Everything is prepped. I'm just going to add that reserved oil, pour it over the hummus, top it with—
The only olive oil that she's putting in this hummus is what she's drizzling on top. Nisha, you're looking pretty good here.
those crispy lemon and garlic pieces, get some parsley, and then we're good to go. All right, let's go see who's ready for a taste test. Hi, we're gonna do our hummus taste test with my family now. We've got hummus version 1 over here.
Okay. Hummus is not one of my favorite things.
Okay, Dad, what did you think of this hummus?
It's okay.
It's
Not
okay.
bad.
Not bad. Pooja?
It's fine as a snack if you don't have anything else.
Last resort.
She says it's fine as a snack when you don't have anything else. That is the perfect description of American hummus. If you don't see guac on the table, if you don't see, salsa on the table, if you don't see any other dip and you only see the hummus, you're like, okay, fine, I guess I'll dip it in the hummus. That's how garbage the hummus in America is.
Get in there, Dad.
Get in there, dog. There's something else in here.
Mmm.
Oh boy. Now I can say I like hummus.
Because you have
Real
put this, you have put lemon zest.
Yeah, they like
Of course,
the
lemon.
the homemade hummus way better, obviously.
How come my white boy is not eating?
What did you think of this hummus?
She said, how come my white boy is not eating? That's funny. I love Indian parents. They're legendary. Oh man, Nisha, you did some very good things. Man, y'all are gonna think I'm getting soft here, but I think I'm gonna give this probably an A. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think I'm getting soft, but not an A+, no one's perfect. She did a really, really good job. Follow her channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want. Like the video. I'm out. All love. Peace.